YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, and I am in Crossfire Legion. This is an RTS game that is out now on Steam. I got to show you a little bit of it a couple months back. There's a lot more there now. It's really exciting, and I'm having a good time with it. So you definitely need to check this one out. I've got a link down in the description. Go down there now and go get some more information on Steam, and you might want to pick this one up for yourself. I'm going to run you through the game, talk a little bit more about it to get things started, and then I've got some cool single-player campaign footage for you. For one of the missions playing as one of the factions called Blacklist. I think you're going to really enjoy it, so stick around and make sure you catch it all. So, what is Crossfire Legion? Well, the game's available now, as I said. Make sure and go check it out. And then, basically, it's got 3 different ways you can play. You're going to have a single-player campaign, which is what I'm going to focus on. I tend to like a lot of single-player things. However, I am interested in the multiplayer, and I'll show you why. And in that multiplayer mode it's actually 2 modes, sorry. It's Versus or another one called Payload mode. A couple different ways to play there. Plus, there's a co-op mission, and then Mission Thunder Strikes, what they call it. So there's a way for you to play with your friends cooperatively as well. Now, the game has 51 units, and it's got 3 factions. You're going to see Global Risk, Blacklist, and New Horizon. And basically, you're rewarded as you play the game. So you get in-game currency for playing, and you can use that currency. So for instance, I can show you the units that I own versus the units I don't own. They're color-coded depending on the faction you have here. So like I believe this one's Blacklist here, this kind of gold color, and then this one's going to be Global Risk, and then I believe this red one is New Horizon. So those are the 3 factions. Again, you can see what it is you have left to unlock. You can earn your in-game currency for it, and then you can use this when you go into those multiplayer matches that I told you about. And then, of course, you can also enjoy a nice story-driven campaign, which, again, like I said, is what I'm going to show you today. There's different leaders in the game. You can see those. We got commanders here like Eclipse, Phoenix, and there's other commanders like Viper here for New Horizon. So there's going to be some good stuff. You should definitely check this one out. The leader powers kind of have vibes of Halo Wars 2 to me, and then unlocking all these units and building up as you go has vibes of Shogun 2 Total War for me. So I like the fact that this is a fast-paced, classic strategy game, but it also has some new and fun elements in it. And I think that they've done a really good job with it. So let's jump over into the single-player gameplay, and let me give you all a taste of what's out there for you in Crossfire Legion. Alright, so I'm going to be playing some campaign missions. I believe we're playing as Blacklist in these, if I got the factions right. And this one's called Phoenix Rising, so we're essentially going to have to steal some resources. We've just gotten a hold of some new stealth tech, which introduces kind of a fun way to play the game. So we're going to have stealth units being able to sneak around, and we're going to try and put together the resources, build a base, and strike back against Global Risk.
Freefall, checking in. We've successfully retrieved the package, but now for the hard part. I've begun decoding the Global Risk data, but it's going to take some time to get through their encryption software. So far, I've managed to decrypt some hidden technology codenamed Ghost Kit. I've retrofitted myself with a prototype, but I'll need to get this back to HQ to start equipping our forces with it. I'm on my way to rendezvous with Phoenix and get this package out of here. It looks like there's heavy Global Risk presence in the area. We'll need to find a way through. If that wasn't hard enough, there are captive prisoners in a camp near our exfil route. But on the bright side, maybe we can do some good and free them. They might even be able to help us. Tunnel's collapsed. That'll buy me some time to get to our rendezvous point.
Copy.
Alright,
Ghost Kit online.
she's got this new Ghost Kit tech, which is going to allow us to be stealthy. We do have to watch out for these
This is Freefall.
spotlights up ahead, but essentially the enemy units can't see
Heading to
us.
point marked.
You see like a little purple bar there, so that's my
Heading to
amount of
point
time that I have while the Ghost Kit is active. And I
Heading
can
to
stay
point
stealth. So we're going to be moving in and trying to get some objectives.
We have a generator in sight.
As you can see, we need to get over there, that generator, place some
Heading to
charges,
point marked.
take it out. This is kind of neat. Like I said, it had
Heading
this
to
neat
point
stealth
marked.
feel. I saw something similar to this in Halo Wars 2 with certain
Heading to
units.
point marked.
That was a lot of fun
I've
as
been
well.
spotted. These searchlights can see through my Ghost Kit tech. Hacking now.
So there we go. We're able to make our strike,
Good to see you, Freefall.
and now we're going to be moving
Okay,
in a
what's the
transport
situation here?
and
We need to
looking
clear
for
the
some
way out so I
resources.
can carry this tech through. It's too heavy for air transport, so the only way out with it is by ground.
This base is offline. We'll need to secure resources to get it operational.
I've cased out the area. There are 3 global risk protected points that we can steal resources from. Let's get the base going.
So the base building in this game is pretty simple and fun. It definitely has a lot of classic RTS elements. The resourcing is very simplified. I would say the closest thing that it comes to, and it doesn't surprise me because the game was made by Blackbird Interactive, is going to be the resourcing. There's just 2 resources. So I think it's fuel and minerals or something that we're going after. The blue and the orange that you see up there at the top. So we're going to use freefall, and we're going to do a little bit of stealth. You can see I wasn't quite stealth there. I was letting it recharge.
Target marked.
And I find myself in a bit of a dicey situation. So I get the stealth mode in, and we're going to go start stealing these resources so that we can get the bases going. Once we get these basic resources, you're going to be building structures like barracks, vehicle depots,
Heading to point marked.
They have all kinds of different names, but it's again going to be very traditional RTS type of feel to it, right? Different training facilities to bring your units on. It's going to have upgrade tiers, very similar to other games too. So like you can upgrade your main base, you can upgrade your production facilities, and all of them provide different bonuses to, say, your infantry or your vehicles or your air. And of course, as you upgrade at your main base, that's what's going to actually increase your tech level and allow you to bring later game techs. Now, some people may be wondering, and I'm told through the material here that games last between 15 and 20 minutes. Now, of course, I'm playing a campaign mission, so it's a little bit more at your own pace, but the multiplayer is aimed at 15 to 25 minutes per game. So it's meant to be pretty fast-paced and fun, and this game definitely has that feel to it as you get further into a mission in the campaign or in multiplayer, where it's a lot more action-oriented, meaning that your ability to click and focus and learn the different shortcut keys and hotkeys and find your way around is really going to make you a better player. Now, I had to spend a little bit of time learning some of this as I played the game, and sometimes it's a little bit scary for me to take on a new game because I'm short on time and learning curves can be steep and take a long time. But this game, although I'm sure it has a very steep curve up to the people who are going to be extremely talented at it versus just amateur like me, it has a fun curve, but it's also simple enough. After an hour of just kind of playing around, I was feeling way more comfortable with the game and what to do. So here I've gotten the resources. We're going to start building our barracks. You've got little drones here that do your resourcing and building. See, I've got the barracks on the way. We have to build the barracks, and then I have to build a mechanized facility. And once I get those built, I can upgrade my main base. And once we get the base upgraded, of course, we'll build some units, and we'll start the push against global risk here. Because at this point, we're essentially going through some intel, we're putting a push together, and we're trying to make our way to their main base at Mount Riley, which is the next mission. But like I said, this one, we're getting ready for that. So they want me to train some infantry. This is also kind of a tutorial, so to give you an idea of how the game teaches you to play as you go along. Now, I had played these missions a couple of times. Like I said, it only took me an hour to kind of start to get a little familiar, and then 2 or 3 hours in, I was feeling, very comfortable with the controls and how to find my way around the game. So, again, I'm sure it has a learning curve for those who are going to be far more professional at it, but for an amateur like me, it didn't take a whole lot of time to jump in, figure out the game, and to be having a good time with one of the factions like I am here with Blacklist. So it's going to be a good time. Now, the infantry that we're going to be training also has a stealth capability, which makes it to where you can kind of play the game in different fun ways. So, for instance, on this mission, you can do what you're going to see me do later on here, which is just kind of use a larger combined arms approach, because I just wanted to show off all the vehicles and infantry, so you'll see me do that. Or you can get a little more stealthy, like the infantry doesn't do as well against certain enemy buildings or vehicles, but it has a stealth component to it, and you heard her saying how she can go in and hack turrets. So you can take that more stealthy approach and enjoy it that way, or you can take a more traditional approach. Really, it's kind of fun because as you unlock more units, there's different ways for you to play the game. And of course, if you're playing against other players, you have to be smart about, trying to guess, hey, what kind of build are they going to go for? How should I be ready to counter that build? There's definitely some rock, paper, scissor elements to these games. Units will have a focus, you know, they'll be good against infantry, they'll be good against vehicles, they'll be good against air. They each have their focus, so it's definitely got like a rock, paper, scissors feel to it. It makes things, I think, simple to understand, but fun in terms of strategy, and has enough layers that you'll enjoy it. See, I just got the tech upgrades going there, and I really kind of like the UI. You can see here the upgrades going on at the different buildings, so it's really easy for me to know what's going on at each building as I, you know, mouse my way through my base here. I'm able to see what's being trained, what upgrades are being researched. You can see my HQs now going to level 3. This will unlock all the vehicles. Setting rallying points was easy, just right-clicking from the production buildings out to where you want them to gather, so pretty intuitive there. There are some stuff I want to point out down on the bottom left-hand of the screens where you're going to see the mini-map, and then there's like some leader powers there and a little bar. And as you fight enemy units and kill enemy units, that bar is going to climb, and then you have these commander abilities. And right now the ones I have are it's like a med kit you can put on a unit that provides healing. And the other one is an EMP blast that stuns all the enemy units in the vicinity for about 3 seconds, so it lets you do a little bit of disruption. You also have unique unit abilities, so over on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the quick keys. So like for here, I was trying to stealth my units. I accidentally had one of them that didn't get into stealth, though, and so it created a bit of an awkward situation for me. You can see my stealth infantry, most of them were able to operate unseen there. So again, this is something fun that Blacklist has that you can play with here. These stealth shotgun infantry that they can close into close quarters using that stealth and do a ton of damage to enemy infantry, though they're a little squishy themselves if you get up against some heavy firepower. But again, like I said, quite fun. But those leader abilities, again, back over to the left hand on the bottom of the screen, they're hotkeyed there. You can see, and I like how it calls it out real easy. It's like Alt W, Alt E. I love how they call out what it is to push. This really reminds me of Homeworld's Desert Crack, which is another game that Blackbird worked on, where it makes it very simple to understand, and these hotkeys are set up in a way that if you use them and you learn them, you're rewarded for it by being faster. You can do things too, like setting up hard groups. You can see those numbers over there kind of on the right-hand bottom side of the screen. Those are groups that you can assign, and you can assign your production facilities to group numbers, which makes it really easy for you, like while you're in the midst of a fight, to be able to just push one of the number keys, pull up your production facilities, and then of course if you know your hotkeys, which they list there like QWE or the others, you can queue up your units really quickly. And then, of course, they can have rally points set, and you can be calling them in. Up at the top of the screen, there's some more hotkeys. You see F1 is your infantry, F2 is vehicles, F3 is air, and F5 is everything. So, again, there's a lot of hotkeys built into the game, and I like it because it simplifies being able to get a hold of certain units quickly, and the player is definitely rewarded for learning them, and it's going to make you a better player. So, again, an enjoyable thing to learn, enjoyable learning curve. It's got some depth to it. It's going to create some layers of strategy. It's going to create some separation between players, but it's not like this overwhelming, difficult learning curve to kind of understand the basics of the game. And I found myself enjoying it. So I've got a small force put together. One of my trucks is good against buildings. I have another one that's kind of like an artillery platform that can launch explosives into enemy infantry formations. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward, start doing a little bit of work. I'm again, just using a bit of a combined arms approach here. And I'm going to be using some of my heals as we go along. And try and keep my units alive. With a little bit of practice, I was able to get pretty decent at this. We did get extended a little bit here. You can see the enemy moving up on my flank, so gotta be careful. I'm gonna call in an EMP bombardment. See there, you get a nice stun to help your forces get engaged. Maybe help make up for having been caught, there in the flank by the enemy. So you can see we were able to get a pretty good engagement going. Now, there's some enemy buildings. We're gonna be pushing into kind of a mini base that they have here. And at each of these mini bases, there's a generator I need to destroy because it's got control of a gate. We've got to drop a couple of gates to get to their main base. So that's our objective. And of course, I want to train up some more forces because we are going to run into some pretty significant enemy resistance. And for those of you who are curious, anybody wondering, the difficulty that I'm playing on right now is the normal difficulty. There was 3 settings. And this is just the normal settings. This one's in the middle. I haven't gotten a chance to play on the hard difficulty, and I found that the normal difficulty was challenging at first because the game was new to me. But of course, after being punished a couple of times, I started to figure, okay, I need to use this hotkey. This is how I do this. This is a better way to take engagements. Don't get over engaged. Look at this, HeirofCarthage already winning here by trapping my vehicle the way I built. So I'm gonna have to destroy my building to make room for this to get out of the way and rebuild it somewhere else. So leave it to me to come in and already be mismicroing in a very short video. You all didn't see that. Don't pay no attention to the guy destroying his own building. So we got some cool vehicles. I've got some laser trucks. They're a lot of fun. That's the E there that you're seeing. Those are crocodile trucks. And then I'm training a lot of this Mamba infantry. And then I'm going to bring some of those other vehicles as well, the artillery platform. And then one of the vehicles, I think it was called the Beetle, is an anti-vehicle. Or sorry, anti-building. So it has like flaming attacks that are really good against buildings. So we got a pretty nice combined arms approach here, and should make things
Heading
fun.
to point marked.
So we're gonna move out to the first mini base and
to point
see if we
marked.
can take out the generator and get these gates open. Now I'm not going to take that stealthy approach
Heading
at
to
the
point
moment.
marked.
Like I said, I'm gonna take the just kind of brute
Heading to
force
point marked.
approach just because I think it's fun.
Heading to point marked.
I guess that's the Total War kind of character in me.
Heading to point
Now, I am
marked.
going to do things a little different on just this first one. I wanted to see what it was like to hack the turret, so check it out. I'm going to use the stealth
I got a
character
visual
to
of a
move my
hostile
leader in
turret.
stealth. I'm going to go in and
See how
hack this
quickly I
turret
can
so it
hack
can't
it.
shoot
We're doing
my
damage on this
characters.
position.
And I'm going to make it turn around and shoot the
Progress.
enemies, so check that out. That's pretty cool, huh?
There are 2 gates blocking the way to the base. Looks like they're powered by generators. I can hack them to disable the gates.
Copy that. Let's find them.
You know, I found the sound design and the music to be really fun in this game too. You can see when you move away from the turret, it goes back under enemy control, so you do have to stay within range of it to keep that building hacked.
Hostile fortification
But in any
destroyed.
case, we're
We've
going
been
to move
kept here
up.
like prisoners. Let us join the fight.
Take these weapons. Now push for the next strong point. There's materials ready.
Lion
All right.
reporting.
Sweet. So we're inside the base. You can see I'm actually getting hit by some enemy snipers who are out of view
Enemy
up here on
strong point
top.
in sight.
We're gonna move our forces in,
I'm taking heavy
take over the
damage.
base, take out their turret, and open up the gate.
Strategic asset.
We're
So yeah,
pushing and
I
looking
had a
good.
really good time. Like I said, you can see that the combination of leader powers with the different unit types, the unit abilities, there's plenty to micro and plenty to have fun with, yet at the same time, like I said, it's fairly simple
Strong
and
point
straightforward. Each faction has a
We
bit of a
need-
different
Never thought
feel
we'd
to
get
them.
out. We're coming with you.
So like for instance, Blacklist here, to me,
Hack underway.
kind of feels like a fairly
One generator
traditional
down.
faction of sorts.
target the last generator.
And then
Let's clear the
New
way to the
Horizon,
base.
for example, you're not going to
Lion's
see them in
taking
this
the
video,
field.
but New Horizon is like a very tech-heavy one. Has really high quality, very expensive units that are a little slower to get out the field, but very powerful when they get out. So there's going to be different play styles from the different factions, and I imagine that they're going to introduce us to all these factions. They said there's 15 missions in the single-player campaign, and I got to play, I believe it's the first 4 or 5, and they were really fun. Like, I had a good time with them. In fact, my boys were sitting around watching me play, and they're like, Dad, play it again. And like I said, I'm liking the sound design. It seems much improved since the first time I played the game a few months ago. Obviously, it was early access then, and it's out now. The graphics are looking sharp. Like, it's nothing that's like the most complex graphic style that we've ever seen, but I think, again, much like Homeworld Deserts of Karak, it was a very beautiful-looking game. It was simple, but a very neat art style. And I find that one here, it has a cool art style with nice effects
I'm
that
under
look
attack
good,
and taking
but
damage.
my machine was easily
On
running the
approach to
game
a hostile
over
strong point.
120 frames per second the whole time.
Clear an enemy strong
And so
point.
I think that this game won't be terribly taxing for a lot of people to run, which is also good, which means that it'll be available to more people, right? It's not like, unfortunately, what we run into sometimes playing Total War, which is that you feel like you gotta have an elite gaming computer in order to even play the game. So I think that's gonna be another thing here, is that it should be very accessible. So yeah, I like the cutscenes, the art style. Like I said, this one definitely has reminiscence of that Homeworld Deserts of Karak that Blackbird made before, which in my opinion is praiseworthy. That's a compliment that I'm giving it, because that game was really quite beautiful and well done. And I definitely feel like that this game is in that same boat. Alright, so the second base here, we're pushing in. You can see that my combined arms is working well enough. We're coming up against, kind of moderate enemy resistance here, but there's going to be some pretty significant enemy
We need-
resistance coming up as we break
Hacking
through. You
now.
can actually see just on the right-hand side of the screen right now, that's the
Generators
base.
out. The gates
and
are open.
we're about to break our way through because we just opened the gates.
We cleared all
Now,
enemy
you'll see me
strong points.
cycling every now and then back to
That's
my
a go for the
buildings
last
to
target.
start training more
Destroy
troops,
the enemy
and then I'm
base.
using the F5 hotkey to kind of pull
Lions
in more
ready for
troops,
combat.
and I'm using my leader abilities to try and stun and heal and keep units in the fight. Again, you need to be on top of your micro, which some of you might be thinking, well, Air, you're terrible at micro. I am, but that's kind of the fun of this game, is it puts me into a fun challenge. And I think that it was the same way in like Halo Wars 2, or when I play Age of Empires 3 or Deserts of Iraq back in the day. Like, those games have a different challenge than Total War, and I enjoy it. And I think that it, despite the fact that I really like Total War as far as a strategy genre, probably the most, I still have this itch for classic RTS, and I feel like this game really itches that, or scratches that itch, sorry. So check this out. Huge enemy army up here inside their base. I'm going to approach with my forces. I'm going to immediately call in my EMP to try and do some stunning and give myself some advantage. I'll also be bouncing back and forth trying to heal vehicles and keep them in the fight, because my vehicles are going to be my harder hitting units. So now we have a significant firefight going on, which is honestly going really well for me at the moment. The combined arms is working out very nicely, and I was able to get in here and start to shoot through their army. I'm going to be using some attack move here. You actually can use the A hotkey for that. It was very helpful. Basically, it allows you to give your units a move forward where you don't have to control their every movement, but they'll just be attacking the closest targets as they move in, which allows me to then take my med kit ability and be healing, my EMP ability, and be disrupting and stuff like that. So there was fun ways to use the game's features in order to help improve your performance and micromanagement of your troops, especially when you're an amateur like me, and you're just not one of those people just getting, 100 clicks per minute or whatever, like the pros, or however many clicks per minute is they get in StarCraft. I don't know. It's been a long time, so yeah, that's not me. But like I said, I felt like the game had nice features to help me at least start to play better, relatively easy. Look at my napalm trucks here and lasers, really lighting this enemy headquarters on fire, and I'm going to use some of these special unit abilities. I probably should have been using these earlier, but I just, was busy and didn't have a chance to get to all of them. These special unit abilities give you some nice extra touches too. Again, reminiscent to me of like Halo Wars, or sometimes, even really old games like Star Wars Empire War had a lot of those special unit abilities. So really cool to see features like this in these games continue to be improved upon and used. Yeah, I mean, pretty good looking graphics, right? I think it has pretty nice effects.
Let's take the fight to Mount Riley and end this damn war.
On my way.
Alright, so we've beat the mission, and this gives you a taste of what the single-player campaign is like. Honestly, folks, I had a lot of fun with this. I played it for a few hours, and then I turned around and played it for a few hours more because I was just having a good time with it. I replayed the campaign missions trying to get better, and had a really good time with this one. I think between the first time I played it a couple of months ago, I could tell the game had some potential, although it was a little bare still. But as I played it this time, this game felt really fun. And I feel like that, although it's simple in a lot of ways, there's some depth here that I think people will really have fun with. And I definitely think you should go check this one out if you're a fan of classic RTS, because I really think it's going to fit into that niche nicely. I appreciate them giving me the opportunity to be sponsored with this video and to show it to you all and to get to play it early. I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's a game that I'm going to play some on my own. And, if you all want to see more of it on the channel, I'd be happy to play some. Heck, maybe we can even play some multiplayer on it one night on a stream, assuming I get the stream because things have been so busy. But again, appreciate them giving me the opportunity. So again, go check this one out on Steam. I got a link in the description. And make sure you go give it a look. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. Thanks for checking out Crossfire Legion, and I hope to see you all again with it sometime soon.